Hello everyone. In this video, we will learn about the use of structure in C programming. Okay. So first of all, what is a structure? Structure in C is a user-defined data type that enables us to store the collection of different data types. So in our previous discussion in arrays and strings, we have seen how we can store number of integer elements or float elements in arrays, and how we can store number of character elements in string. But in both type, we can store a similar type data, right? So but in structure enables us to store the collection of different or dissimilar type data types. So each element of structure is called a member. Now how we can write a structure in our C program will be knowing by seeing its syntax. Using the struct keyword, we can define the structure in C programming. So there is the general syntax for declaring one structure variable in our C programming. So followed by the struct keyword, then space, we can give any structure name, and within this parenthesis we can declare multiple types of data members. So data type, suppose data type 1 one member, data type 2 another member. So here within this parenthesis we can write multiple number of, or we can declare multiple number of data types of data. So let's see the example to define a structure for an entity employee. So we know for an entity employee there will be some characteristics or some attributes like ID, name, salary. So ID is simply it's a number, so it can be stored using the integer data type. So int ID. Then it one employee's name should be uh, declared with using the character or string, so that should be declared using the char space, the string name, and the size. Then employee salary, it can be declared as a floating point number, so that salary attribute also can be stored using the float data type. So here we are seeing that within one simple structure variable, we are able to store different types or dissimilar types of data types, right? Int, char, float. So this is the main funda of using structure variable in our C program, where we can able to store dissimilar or multiple type of data types inside one variable. Now how all those types of data types will be occupied in our memory, or what will be the memory representation of structure variables. So suppose this is the one example of our one structure variable employee. So this employee entity is having this attribute int id, char name, float salary, and this is the structure variable emp. Okay, so this is the variable, structure variable. Now int id means we know one integer data occupies 4 byte memory space in our memory, computer memory. So it will occupy 4 byte memory, 1 2 3 4. Then char name, suppose the naming word is of 10 numbers. So one character in character occupies 1 byte memory space. So 10, if your naming letter or the name of the employee is of 10 letters or 10 characters, it will occupy 10 bytes memory. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then float salary. As we know, the size of float variable is 4 byte. So for saving this salary, or to storing the salary variable, it will take another 4 bytes. So total 4 plus 10 plus 4, 18 bytes will be occupied by one structure variable when it is using these uh, multiple data types inside this single parenthesis. Okay, so here struct is the keyword, employee is the name of the structure, id, name, salary, ID, name, and salary are the members of the, or the fields of the structure, and this is emp is the structure variable. Okay. Next, how to declare structure variable? We can declare a structure variable for the structure to access the member of the structure easily, and there are two ways. Uh, so so that we can two ways to declare the structure variables. Those are, first one is by struct keyword within the main function, and another one is by declaring a variable at the time of defining the structure. We will see two example of each of one. Okay, so first way, let's see the example to declare the structure variable by struct keyword. Okay, so here using struct keyword we are declaring one structure variable employee. So this employee structure variable is having for suppose three attributes: id, name, salary. So int id, care name, and float salary. And using the struct keyword we can define declare the structure variable employee like e1 e2. So that means here two employees salary two employees fields can be stored within this single structure employee structure. Okay, next, second way, let's see another way to declare variable at the time of defining the structure. So here we are also defining the structure, and here without using the struct keyword, we are simply writing the numbers of variables it can hold. So e1 comma e2. That means the structure employee can hold two employees details. Okay. Now, after declaring the variables, we have to know how to access members of the structure. So there are two ways to access structure members. First of all, we can use the dot or member or dot operator, which is showing here, just this symbol. Using this symbol, we can do it. And another one is by using this arrow operator, structure pointer operator. It is also called structure pointer operator. Let's see the code to access the ID member of PI variable by dot operator or member operator. So PI dot ID will be the code actually. So let's see the example. So here is my header file. Then for taking the input for the name of the employee, I'm declaring string.h. So this is my structure variable struct employee. Within the parenthesis, I am writing int id, the fields of the structure. Suppose there are two field, int id and int name, character name. And here declaring ei variable for structure. Suppose I want to give the details of one employee. Then int main, within the main function I want to store the employee information. What the information? Its id and its name, his name and his ID, suppose. So how I can do it? Using the dot or member operator, we can access the member. So here, this is the variable name. So ei dot id is equal to, we can give or we can assign some value for his ID. Then using string copy, I'm copying the name. So here you have declared the string variable for taking the name from the user. So here suppose e1 dot name. So using the dot operator and this variable, we can supply the uh, value for the name of this particular employee. Okay. So strcpi e1 dot name, then this is the string. So copy string into character array. So what will do? So if you provide the string or the name here, then it will copy inside the employee name. Okay. Then if you print the first if you want to print the employee information, then using the printf statement you can do it. So employee e1 id, printf employee e1 id, you can print the id, and employee one name, you can print the name also. Let's see another example of structure in C language to store many employees information. So in previous example, we have seen how we can store one employee information. Now, how to store many employee information? For storing many employee information, you can use more than one variable, right? So the same like the before here, doing the same, but here we are adding another more variable e1 comma e2. So like same, we are doing the writing using the dot operator, we are storing the employee information. You are e1 dot id, then copying the name using the e1 dot name, and then another field I have added float salary. So e1 dot salary, suppose you are assigning some salary for first employee. Similarly for second employee you can do the same, e2 dot id str copy name, then e2 dot salary, and then one by one you can, using printf statement, one by one you can print the all the information for employee 1 and employee 2, and in your output screen it will be shown like employee id, name, and their salaries. Okay, now what is asking in our program, in our ninth experiment. So in our ninth experiment it is asking to uh, to write a C program to store and display information of student using structure. So for that, first we have to declare one structure named student with the fields or the attributes like name, age, role, and marks. Then we have to declare some variables to store the number of students. So here we'll use the concept of array of structure. That means you can store multiple numbers students information, right? So declare, for that we have to declare an array of structure name is to store the multiple student details with an appropriate size, and then we'll do the same like the previous example. So let's see the code. So this is my header file, then this is the student structure. So struct student is the name of the structure, and these are the fields int role, character name, int age, float marks. Now within the main function what I'm doing, I'm just entering the number of students. Okay, so this is a struct student sn is the array of the I mean the size of the number of the students. Now enter the student details using one for loop. I will enter the roll number for the first student. So for the first student, so here are n numbers of student. For the first student s of I. So s of I is when it's 0, that means it will take the input for the first student. So using ampersand s of I dot roll. So that means here also I am using the member operator, right? So enter student name, then enter student here I'm taking the or reading the name of the student, then student's age, then student marks. So I have completed all the mm, attributes. Okay, next I have to display the student details. So here I'm displaying the student details by using, for that I have iterated one for loop starting from the first address, that is a zero address, and I have iterated that loop up to the last index. Then here also I want to print all the fields. So s1 si dot role, si dot name, si dot age, si dot marks. So here uh, this program will print the entire student I mean how many numbers of student you are given for the student details, that many numbers of output it will be generate. So let's see the execution of the program. So the same program I have copied in this compiler. Let's run this. So enter the total number of students. Here, suppose I'm giving 2. So enter the student details, roll number. Suppose I'm giving 7. Then enter the student name. Suppose my name. Then age 5. So student marks, this one. Another number, roll number. Suppose 8. Name, suppose something else. Age something else, and then the marks. Okay, so this is displaying the student details. Okay, that's it. Now what we have to do in a challenge program, what it is asked in a challenge program, it is asked to write a C program to generate payroll of employees using structure and pointers. That means using the same way you have to you have to declare one structure variable which name is employee, and using the structure and pointer you have to generate the payroll system for the employee system. For that what you can read, you can calculate the gross pay, you can take one function for calculating net salary. Okay, so likewise you can do the same thing for the program. Okay, so learn the logic for the program, learn the concept of structure, and please uh, try to execute in your program. Okay. So thank you.